10 minutes. That's all it took to sink a king's dream. August 10th, 1628. Stockholm Harbor is packed with spectators cheering the most powerful warship in the world. Vasa fires her cannons in salute, catches a breeze, tilts, and never comes back up. 1,300 meters from the dock, shorter than 12 football fields laid end to end, she's already at the bottom of the sea. But here's the question that should bother you. Everyone on that dock saw this coming days before. So why did nobody stop it?
Picture the scene. Thousands lined ashore that afternoon. Nobles in silk, dock workers, sailors' wives with children on their shoulders. Vasa was the pride of an empire, gilded lions carved into her bow, over 60 bronze cannons bristling from 2 full gun decks. She was supposed to terrify Sweden's enemies for the next 50 years. She lasted less than a mile.
12 football fields. That's the entire distance Vasa traveled before the sea swallowed her whole. Not lost at war, not wrecked by an enemy fleet, but killed by a gust of wind you'd barely notice on a walk to work. Try to hold that image. A ship this massive, this expensive, going under before it even cleared the harbor mouth.
Somewhere on that shore, a shipwright who'd tested the vessel days earlier was watching. He knew. He had to know.
We roll the ship, and 30 men run across her deck. Watch what happens.
She's rocking before they've crossed twice. Stop the test. Stop it now.
That exchange happened, days before the launch. And still on August 10th, the order came to set sail anyway. Cannons loaded, crowds gathered, king's honor on the line. One man's warning against an entire kingdom's pride. You already know who won that argument.
So why did nobody pull the plug? Why did a ship that failed its own stability test get sent out anyway, in front of the entire city?
To answer that, we can't start at the harbor. We have to go back 2 years, to a decision made while Vasa was still just timber and blueprints, a decision that sealed her fate long before her keel ever touched water.
1625. Gustavus Adolphus is at war, and he needs Vasa to be more than a warship. He needs her to be a message. So from the battlefield, hundreds of miles from the shipyard, the king sends new orders. Add a second row of heavy guns, up top above the first. The shipwrights already have a design. Timber cut, hull half-built, and now the man paying for it all wants a second gun deck, squeezed onto a hull that was never drawn to carry one.
Can you say no to a king fighting a war 3 countries away?
Nobody did. The keel was already too narrow for the ship the king now wanted. But the letters kept arriving, and the letters were signed by the crown. So the build went on, heavier every month, on a frame that hadn't changed an inch.
Then, in the middle of it all, the one man who understood the ship's balance better than anyone dies. Henrik Heibertson, the master shipwright, had built ships his whole life by instinct. Weight here, ballast there, numbers he carried in his head, never on paper. When he dies in 1627, he takes every calculation about Vasa's stability with him into the grave. No formulas, no notes, nothing to check the design against.
His assistant takes over, a young man finishing another man's ghost ship, guessing at math nobody wrote down. Picture the ship now. 2 full decks of cannon sitting high above the waterline. Dozens of tons of oak and iron stacked where the original plan called for open space. It's like strapping 2 bricks worth of extra weight to the top of someone's head, someone who is already struggling to stand up straight.
By 1628, the ship is finished. Beautiful, terrifying, armed with 64 bronze cannons and carved from bow to stern with gilded lions and warriors, and dangerously, invisibly top-heavy.
So someone finally asks the obvious question. Will she even float straight?
We ran the test ourselves. 30 men running side to side across the deck. And she rocked so hard I stopped it. I called it off before they'd even finished 3 passes.
If we run it again, she goes over. I was sure of it.
That's the report. Written down. Witnessed. A ship that couldn't survive 30 running sailors was about to carry 300 people, families included, out into open water.
And yet nobody cancels the voyage. Not the admiral, not the shipbuilders. Not a single official in Stockholm picks up a pen and stops it.
Because the man who ordered this ship was still the king. And the king was still at war, still waiting for his warship, still 3 countries away and utterly unreachable.
On the test, 30 sailors ran deck to deck, and the ship lurched so violently they had to stop halfway through. The admiral saw it with his own eyes, and he gave the order to sail anyway. August 10th, 1628. Midday. Thousands lined the Stockholm waterfront to watch the king's masterpiece sail for the first time. Vasa raises her sails, fires her cannons in salute. Smoke, cheering, the biggest ship the Baltic has ever seen finally moving. 400 meters out, a gust hits her from the side. She tips, rights herself. The crowd laughs, a little wobble, nothing more. Then a second gust arrives, stronger, and this time Vasa doesn't come back. She leans until her open gun ports, left open for the salute, for the show, dip below the waterline.
Imagine leaving every window in your house open during a storm. Now, imagine that house is sinking and the windows are underwater. The sea pours in through 2 full gun decks at once.
Below deck, sailors are still finding their stations. Families of crew members are on board for the maiden voyage. Wives, children, invited for the short trip out of the harbor. None of them know the ship is already dying.
Get the guns down. Wait to the low side, now.
There's no time. She's going over.
10 minutes. That's the whole lifespan of the most expensive warship in the world. 10 minutes, about 600 heartbeats, if yours is racing like the men on that deck. Vasa rolls on her side and slides under, mast last, right there in front of the crowd that came to celebrate her. 30 to 50 people drowned that day. Some accounts say more. Many of them trapped below deck, unable to find the ladders in the dark.
1,400 meters from where she started. Less than 12 football fields. She never even left the harbor. So who paid for this? An inquiry opens within days. Captain, shipbuilders, sailors, all questioned under oath. Every single one of them says the same thing. We built her exactly as ordered. And they weren't lying.
The one man who could have been blamed, the king who changed the design, who ignored the failed stability test, who was 3 countries away and unreachable, was untouchable. You don't put a monarch on trial in 1628. So the court does something else. It blames nobody. The official verdict is God's will.
Not greed alone, not haste alone, not fear alone. It took all 3, stacked on top of each other for 2 straight years, for a ship to fail in 10 minutes.
Vasa sits on the harbor floor for 333 years, forgotten by everyone except a handful of researchers who never stopped looking. Then in 1961, divers bring her back to the surface. And here's the twist nobody expected. The cold, oxygen-starved mud of the Baltic that swallowed her that day had also preserved her. 98% original wood. No storm, no war, no century of use ever touched her. The disaster that humiliated a king gave the world the most intact 17th century ship that exists. So the question isn't just why she sank. It's what almost never got saved and what still hasn't been raised from the bottom of history.